This overview of Scissortail HCM will give you a high-level look at how easily and effectively you can manage the entire employee lifecycle. Every employee is at some point an applicant or a candidate, so let's start with how Scissortail HCM manages the recruiting and application process. Job openings can be posted to your website or any other job board, allowing candidates to search and apply for open positions. They can view the job description and either register as a new applicant, or if they've applied with you before, they'll be prompted to log on. From here, they can complete the application by filling out the information on all available tabs. Keep in mind that this is a customized applicant experience, so you can make any of these fields within the application required. You can remove any of the fields or tabs if they don't apply, and you can also add custom fields as well. Once they've completed the application, they'll electronically sign off on that application. A notification will be sent via email to the hiring manager to let them know that an application has been submitted. Now let's take a look from the hiring manager's perspective. The customizable dashboard allows her to access certain areas of the system that she uses most frequently. A dashboard can be configured for each individual employee as well, based on their role and the types of things they need to access within the system. Because this is one single database, you'll notice that Kathy has access to all functionality right from her dashboard. She can manage all of her employees' information, process time, and even run payrolls. In this case, I have a separate dashboard enabled just for recruitment purposes so that Kathy can easily manage the recruiting process. Here she can see all the information about the applicants and also move them through the user-defined hiring stages, from the time the application was submitted all the way through to hire, including communications with the applicant, whether they were written on the fly or chosen from her predefined templates. If she decides to hire this person, she'll select the position and enter all of the necessary information to get this person hired successfully. Again, since this is all one database, certain fields such as name and address are already populated because they came from the application. There's also an option for Social Security number verification. Now that we've hired our employee, let's take a quick look at his employee record. On the main tab, I can assign profiles, such as accruals, holidays, leave of absence, pay period frequency, performance reviews. I can designate their manager, review their accrual balances, access their account demographic information, as well as view their base compensation. Under the HR tab, you can track the employee's education, any training or certification they might have, and any incidents such as disciplinary, performance, or even attendance issues, assets such as laptops or cell phones, workers' comp claims, and even scan all paper documents into the system for easy access. And if you have a need to track something that isn't already in the system, that's not a problem. You can create an unlimited number of custom fields, making the data available for reporting as well. The ACA tracking allows you to track the number of hours worked per month for each employee and see whether or not the employee is considered to be full-time or part-time employee. I can keep track of the different measurement periods as well as if an affordable plan or minimum value plan is being offered. If an employee is considered to be full-time, but we're not offering them an affordable plan or vice versa, a notification email can be sent to the appropriate person. Under the Payroll tab, we have all of our earnings, deductions, and taxes. Scissortail HCM uses geospatial technology to determine which taxes should be applied. It takes a look at the employee's home address as well as the company's address to determine the appropriate taxes. It's intuitive enough to calculate down to the local taxes, as well as taking into account the reciprocity agreements between states in regards to taxes. Now let's move on and take a look at the typical employee self-service features. I've signed on as Josh, and you'll see he has a dashboard just like Kathy did, but it's configured to his needs, giving him access to those things that he'll need. There are company announcements, and at the top a to-do list that shows the things that he needs to complete, as well as quick links that'll take him through the system. This is one of my favorite things about Scissortail HCM. It allows them to navigate throughout the system using hyperlinks rather than having to go through the menus at the top and search for their location. Let's talk first about the to-do lists. In keeping with our new hire example, the to-do list contains all of the onboarding paperwork he's required to complete. All documentation will be completed on screen electronically signed, and directed through a custom approval workflow, and then stored on his record. The open enrollment process is pretty intuitive as well. Josh can read the specific instructions and then on each tab review the plan details and even compare plans on screen. You're able to enforce elector waive policies, require evidence of insurability forms as needed, and allow them to add dependents or beneficiaries. You can also take this one step further and connect the benefit elections and changes from life events or open enrollment directly to the carrier. Let's talk now about the mobile capabilities. I've embedded the mobile app here on the dashboard for easy demonstration, but this is what I'd see if I was using a cell phone or a tablet. From this mobile app, Josh can clock in or out, request time off, view historical payroll data, and employee information. If we look at the time and labor management, Josh has the ability to clock in and out from his home department or allocate his time to other cost centers. On his electronic timesheet, Josh can also track additional information such as tips, mileage, and expense reimbursements, and even upload a copy of the receipts. For time off requests, they can be done in full or partial days or multiple days. When a request is submitted, an email notification will be sent to the manager for approval. When we log on as a manager, as I've done here, you can see that his dashboard has much more access and it puts all of the information he needs to know about his employees at his fingertips. The attendance board, which is also accessible from the mobile app, shows who's in and out of the office in real time, so he can see who's tardy or absent. He can also correct missing punches and approve timesheets right from his dashboard. If he wants to run a report on his employees, such as the detailed hours report, he can add it to his quick links, and right from the screen he can create the report that he wants to see by choosing the filters, the sort order, and even the columns. When he's done, he can save this view or even export his report in a multitude of formats. If this is a report that he uses often or wants to be auto-generated, he could schedule it to be run and emailed automatically to his inbox. I've logged back on as Kathy, our administrator, so we can take a look next at the performance reviews. Performance reviews can be set up in multiple levels of workflow and identify who should be responsible for each step. Ratings can be weighted, additional comments can be added, along with the date the employee received or signed the review. Pay increases can be entered during the finalization process, which can also be tied to our compensation module, where the system will look at the finalized review and make recommendations on what the increase should be based on their pay grade. Managers can use the budgeting tool to propose increases that will go through a workflow process and will go into effect based on the effective date defined. You can also enter a new job title or a bonus if the review triggers it. When it comes to timesheet approval and payroll processing, those are driven by to-do lists as well. In my example, once all actions have been taken to approve timesheets and any open payroll items related to that pay period, I can sync my timesheets and review the batch and make any edits necessary. I also have the ability to set up payroll alerts. These can be global or individual. You can set them up for a certain period of time and also flag them as required to ensure that nothing gets overlooked during the payroll process. A global alert might be set up to flag when an employee is being paid more than a certain dollar amount, while an individual alert would be set up to remind a user of something that needs to be done on that particular payroll, such as a bonus. As the batch is saved and updated, calculations are being applied in real time so that we can see what the pay statements would look like for certain employees. We can also run our payroll reports, such as the payroll register and other reports, without the need for traditional pre-processing. Let's take a look at the payroll register. The information that we're looking at is pulling real time. From this report, I have access to the employee's pay statement, or I can also jump back to the employee's record and make permanent changes to their payroll settings. I can update a deduction or change a direct deposit, hit save, and then back to the payroll register. Let's take a look next at a sample general ledger report. This is the most basic format, but keep in mind that this can be formatted based on the accounting software specification. Another report that's very popular is the Payroll Recap and Funding Report. This gives you a payroll overview including the number of paid employees, the total check and direct deposit amounts, You can see the tax liability, the vendor liabilities, totals, cash requirements, general ledger summary, and a couple of visuals such as the comparison to last pay period and rolling 12-month payroll view. Once all alerts have been addressed, all edits have been made, we're able to close our payroll, print our checks, and create our direct deposits. And there you have it. Application to paycheck and everything in between can be handled using Scissortail HCM.